And welcome everyone tonight for our last game of the week streams TPO MAS versus DNU University. Welcome. I am Dr. Bovine Basher. We have Galaxy Fox Jeffrey Mullen. How
Hello.
how is it going today, Jeffrey?
It's going all right. I'm a little sore. I worked out earlier today, but I'm ready to get some casting in.
Yeah, getting real swole, are we? Getting those get
No,
Okay,
no,
well, believe in yourself, man. You'll get pretty
no.
soon
I'm
you'll
just,
be
I'm just, I'm trying to get rid of the little pudge.
well, don't you shoot for being a majestic muscly man. I believe in you.
I appreciate
You'll
that.
you'll have the women all over you pretty soon. You'll have the majestic and cute face you've got with all those muscles.
Uh huh.
Uh,
Anyway, we're hopefully gonna get into pick some bands pretty soon. Um, I
Speaking of
think
which,
we're
how do you think this pick and band's gonna go? We know we've seen what Moss has been able to do from their carry side. We've seen some interesting picks from DNU. What do you think is going to be the target from both teams?
I really don't know. I have seen DNU pick a wide variety of picks, and so I feel like it's very difficult to figure out what their plans are. Um, it'll be interesting to see how it all folds out because I know Mass is probably going to prioritize probably like a Zaya or Zeri for OK Demon. But beyond that, I don't know.
I think we're gonna see an Ace Soul band probably coming out from DNU here because I don't think they're going to want to let that give over. And we've seen both teams play this. Baby Cod has played it, and I think DNU definitely will be willing to play it as strong as it has been in the meta right now. Yumi band first off though.
I guess they don't want to see the Yumi with the rework that came through. And then
Hmm.
it's Justana going over from Mass.
Hmm.
I think it could be a very explosive pick and aggressive, so I think that's not a bad one.
I don't know that I've seen Scourge play that though, but I mean, it could be something they've been practicing recently. Blitzcrank coming out from Mass, it almost looks kind of like the same bands coming out against Argonauts that they had, but I have to see where they differ. Clearly, those two picks are very, very good for them.
And then the Jinx ban against OK Demon, which I think he did perform very well on whenever they played us. But leaving open both the Zeri and the Zaya, maybe we
E-
can see one of his strong picks come out.
Even the Twitch being left up too. We'll have to see. ASOL is available. We'll have to see what Mass is willing to first pick. Are they willing to give over something like the Zeri to that side, maybe in favor of the ASOL? Or are they just going to go three scaling lanes?
It
Gwen
looks like
first pick.
Gwyn mid for Baby Cod. Okay.
Definitely have seen him carry some performances on this. Draven, ooh, that's right. Ooh, that's a very aggressive bottom lane.
Yes, it is. We scrimmed them the other night, and they were very aggressive. Now, I don't think this is the same ADC player we went against, so we'll see how well they are able to handle the Draven. But if they're anything like their friend, it's going to be very, very aggressive.
Yeah, a lot of early aggression coming out. We see a lot of scaling coming out of Mass's side too. Gwen, Sion are both going to need some time to come online. And there's the Twitch, more scaling. Three scaling lanes. You're going to have to survive what so far is an early advantage from DNU out of this draft. We'll have to
Yeah,
see.
oh,
We'll have to see
sorry.
what jungler Mass picks to sort of affect these early game lanes because there's going to be a lot of aggression in bot lane at the very least.
Yeah, I was thinking about the match earlier today about how the drafts would go, and they're going exactly how I thought they would. In that Mass is someone that very much waits for those later game team fights where their picks have scaled and they're able to win those, and whereas DNU is the exact opposite. Their whole objective is to aggressively punish you early, kill you over and over, and get you to a point where you feel like you can't come back.
That's what we're seeing a lot of right now. Hecarim is going to take a bit more time to turn online, but that AOE fear from Relentless, or not, is it Relentless Charge? I forget exactly what his ultimate's called, but Hecarim's ultimate definitely is going to be able to break up these front to back team fights, especially if they get good flanks and stuff off. Viban coming in from DNU, not wanting to see the targeted CC under the Draven. Wow,
And
his
then a Kindred.
band's going really fast. Kled on the other side, masked as well. I don't know. Are they just going to ban stuff out that's strong into Scion? Or maybe they're thinking the Kled's going to be played mid? I'm
I
not
think I
sure.
think DNU plays Kled. I think that's a pick of his. So
DNU
makes
Dean.
sense. Yeah.
Hmm. I'm not sure. I like the Aurelia pick much better. Aurelia ban much better. Gonna be able to fight the Gwen very early. Gonna be able to charge through that hallowed mist that she uses to sort of stay alive.
Yeah. What do you think DNU is going to pick for their mid and jungle?
You
I
know,
mean,
I
it's going to
think.
be something aggressive, right?
I mean, it really it comes. I don't know which pick they're gonna make here. They think they're gonna need some kind of scaling option, but I'm not sure what they want to play into the Gwen mid. Volibear probably going
Oh,
top. So they're leaving their mid lane counter once they see the support and the jungler. Depends on how aggressive the jungler they want to get. J4 is still available from Banana Man. Might be
I think
something to look towards.
yeah, I think J4 would be a very excellent pick into what they already have going. The
It can
amount of engage that comes out
it can
really
also
beneficial for Twitch.
ooh, that's a Wukong, which I'm still okay with. Gives the AoE engage we're looking for. I believe it can fight the Hecarim early as well, so try to invade and take away stuff from the Hecarim. Not sure how much success he's going to be able to have with that with the lanes he currently has, but at the very least, the neutral fights in the river are probably going to be a little bit spicy.
We'll
Hmm.
see what this last pick is. Renata.
Yeah,
Okay.
just
I
gonna
think that yeah, that's a very useful pick against like the Draven, Hecarim, and Volibear that are going to be running at you.
definitely gives them a lot of disengage and counter engage. A lot of good setup around the Drakes and stuff like that. Once they get those ultimates, I think Mass is going to be a very ultimate based team. DNU, I think, just needs to get something that has a lot of long range damage.
Mm.
Ooh, that's the
Hail.
scaling pick.
Yeah,
N-
that's like game assurance for sure.
Now, where is this going? Is my question. Is the Kale going mid or is the volley going mid? Because you
I
could
don't
roam.
know.
I'll tell you, I would like to see the volley go mid because I think the Volibear has better roaming potential around the map and can definitely get to those side lanes. But it might stick Kale into the Gwen just because I don't really feel like the Kale's going to be affected by the Gwen anytime early. She's just going to let her push waves into her and farm. But I could see either or.
Yeah, I think it'd be very interesting to find out what is going on there. If I had to guess, it would probably be the I don't know. Probably Volibear mid. I think if I had to guess, it'd be Volibear mid.
Mm, let's go to the op.gg for some of our players and see what maybe they are cooking up.
I think that it could be a decent pick into the Gwen. Getting that stun off and with the healing. I don't know.
I
I
don't
guess we're about to find out here, and once we actually get into the main draft.
Yeah, I definitely don't feel like I would like to see the Gwen go into or the volley go into the Gwen because Gwen lives in those kind of melee fights like that. Especially with the true damage from her snip snip. She can really drain a lot of melee players'
Yeah,
health bars.
I just feel like the early levels for the if it's Kale mid, those early levels are gonna be so hard for Kale to try to survive that.
I don't know. I'd like to see if we can get a what am I looking for? If we can get a vote going on, see what other viewers think about who is going to win this game. I'm not exactly sure. I can do it myself. Ah, There we go. Volibear looks and appears to be going top.
Yeah.
I haven't locked it in yet, and it is locked in top. Hmm. I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna have to see what DNU can get done early. They've given the
Yeah.
Kale mid lane the scaling with alongside the Gwen, saying, "Hey, I don't. We're gonna play farm game here. Kale is gonna be pushed in all the time." I feel like I would have liked to see the Volibear mid, but maybe they swap lanes. The Volibear can really um affect side lanes more, and I think hmm.
What?
Well, shall we? Well, I guess we'll have to see. The scaling definitely is on Mass's side.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that if they don't play it they need to really be really careful about DNU's bot lane. I know that Hecarim is going to visit bot lane 4, 5, 6 times before 10 minutes, and so they really need to be careful not to get this Draven Thresh ahead.
Yeah, it's gonna come down to play. But to be fair, Mass's bottom lane has been a very big win condition, especially on the Twitch, the Jinx, these hyperscalers. They've been able to not only survive early lanes, but also get ahead and accelerate the pace of the game. And Renata's going to enable that playstyle. If you're trying to dive a Renata and you can't kill the Twitch immediately, it could really turn into he gets a kill, gets a reset on the health bar, maybe potentially gets one or two. I think it's going to come down to execution a lot from these two squads.
Yeah,
Looks
I'm excited to see how this plays out.
looks like it's very even. 57% vote going over to University of DN, liking the early game more, but Mass is 43%, not far behind as we see very, very close voting coming out from everyone.
Yeah, before we take a short break here, who would you take, DNU or Mace?
Um, I would take Mass just because I don't like the Kale pick. I think if I saw something else, I would like it more, but I'm not opposed. I'm yeah, I'll take Mass's draft over it. I like their front to back better than I do DNU's.
Okay. And just to be different from you, I'll say DNU. I know their aggression is good, can be really good early, and so I think that will determine whether or not they win this game.
Why
But
we
with
got
that,
why,
we
why we got
will
to be
take
different?
because I like being different. Anyway, we'll talk about this game more here in a few minutes after we get back from a short break. We'll see y'all soon. You wanna say what?
And welcome back, everyone, as we get started here in Game 1, Mass versus DNU. See an early walkout from Mass going top.
Yeah, maybe we can see some level 1 shenanigans.
I love me some level 1 shenaniganery.
I know you do.
Get a little bit of a zoom out as we see them walking towards the volley. Volley walking into that brush, probably going to spot them early.
Oh, and
He
it
does
seems
spot.
Bully gets a huge level 1 E on all of them, getting chunked out a little bit. And they're going to get spotted on the sword, so it seems like whatever invade Mass is trying to do right now is going to ultimately fail.
Yeah, they could think it's a bit of a mistake there. I actually believe they should have. Once they see him, they should just walk out. They know they've been spotted. The gig is up. Got to give up on the level 1 shenanigans.
Yeah, they did get a couple of wards on DNU's red buff. It seems like a couple of their players are being very toxic towards one another. I know that the bait ping has been used to suggest things, and I don't know how. You know, they're all friends, so whatever.
I mean, to be fair, we've played in some team environments where when you're having fun and you're enjoying yourself, you can really mess with other people. I certainly do it to you guys whenever everything's going on.
No, for sure, for sure.
So, see a lot of early stuff. See not a lot of stuff early going on. Where do you think we see first blood at?
Has to be bot lane. I mean, it's bot lane meta. I know that DNU is bot lane centric. I know that Mass is bot lane centric, so I would imagine it's bot.
The TL actually fighting the Gwen level 1. Not something you expect to see every day.
Yeah, you know, Kale got that level 2 early, and she's able to pressure the Gwen off of the early minions. But this should fix itself right here. And I'd imagine once Gwen gets a couple more levels under her belt, she'll be very confident in trying to burst down that hail.
Yeah, see a little bit of damage coming out there right away. Looks like there's a tank fight going up on top. No, maybe not. Dean getting quite a bit of good damage into the straight onto Alien Soul, half healthing him for no return damage.
The Volibear took lethal tempo, which means the more he attacks, the faster his attacks can be and extended range. So he's able to get a lot of chunk damage onto that Scion early.
Yeah, guaranteed to get at least half of that proc right away, as if you use the Q, which does count as an auto. You Q, auto, W, auto. You're almost halfway, or you're past halfway to stacking that. See a little bit of looks like an early gank coming out. Banana Man is in bot lane coming here. Who's he gonna go on? Goes on Gypsy Boopy. Gypsy Boopy forced to flash over the wall. Dive coming in up
on the
top.
other side. And we see the Volibear getting first blood onto the Scion. And no kills actually come up as a result of that bot play.
Stand aside used very well there from Draven. Able to knock away the Wukong from finishing that kill on the Thresh. Summoner trades. Seems we have no summoners used in top lane. TP now used for Scion, but flashes off the support and the support jungler from Mass.
See a small engage coming in through bot lane, eventually with Janitor trying to get a kill onto OK Demon and not suspecting the Wukong was still there, but the Wukong was and was able to stop the Draven for trying to get anything.
A bit of an overstay seems and appears that Draven feeling himself a little too much after escaping that gank. Wave not in a position where he really should have stayed. Should have just backed with the support and walked back out to the wave.
Yeah, but I'm really surprised on going back to that top lane that the Hecker and Volibear was able to dive a Scion. I know a lot of chunk damage got onto that Scion early, but still, it's like
Yeah,
He's
one
a
bad.
tanky boy.
He's not that tanky early. That he comes into that's why he's the scaling tank. You know, sort of takes some time to farm up, get those extra stacks. They have removed the healing from grasp as well, though now it gives extra HP. So that once again is going to lead more into the stacking from Alien Soul up there. But good attacks early from DNU and Olimar Tokes and DNU Dean able to punish that early.
Yeah, we see an all-in going in for the Gwen, trying to kill down this Kale, and just barely with the flash, Kale is able to escape. If I think if Baby Cod waited till she was 6, I think the kill would have been secured, but because they weren't quite there yet, Kale was able to get out.
Yeah,
now we're going to see a new gank coming out from the Wukong onto Dean, but the Volibear just shreds through the Scion, killing him before Banana Man even has a chance to get there. But the Wukong is able to shred down the Volibear in return, and the I don't know what it's called, but the Undead Scion was able to finish off that kill.
Yes, not exactly sure what that's called. That is called Glory and Death, as we see.
Zombie Scion? Just want to say Zombie Scion?
Zombie Scion passive is called Glory and Death. We'll accept he's a zombie. But it does appear that the Volibear is going to split push AP build, really going to try to stay away from these team fights. And there isn't a very large gold lead going on right now. As we see, the gold lead in top lane is also...
We see a hook coming out onto the Renata, and her passive does burn her down. Draven is not able to secure that kill because Thresh did ignite the Renata, which is actually very huge for the side of MAS, because Draven's whole dig is that he needs to turn in his passive stacks for gold, for a bunch of gold, and if he doesn't get the kill, he doesn't get it.
Yeah, currently sitting at about 90 stacks as well. That's going to be a lot of gold. Looks like another dive coming in here top lane. Turret turned off. Alien Soul just with nowhere to go. Can't use the turret for protection. Even Mascot coming up here on level 6. Not sure he needs to be up here. Maybe just countering the Gwen, who might fight into the Heck Room.
Engage onto the Heck Room. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Baby Cod decides to ult here. But no. With the Kale backing up her Heck Room, I don't see that anything else is going to happen. On the other side of the map, oh, I'm sorry, but on the other side of the map, I was just going to mention that they are side of MAS currently taking Quad Drake.
Yeah, opposite size play, going to start stacking those Drakes up. I think they're going to need to do that. I really think DNU is trying to punish the weak lane of Alien Soul. I think they're doing what other teams maybe haven't been doing recently. You're giving him his pick and then trying to punish him for it. It's just going to come down to how much is the Volibear going to be able to get done on a side lane. Is currently he's about 1,200 gold up, and I think that's about the majority of the lead. The 300 spread out between the rest of the lanes.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say on the side of MAS, I'm actually more favoring this early game from them. Even though DNU does have a 1,500 gold lead, being even as a Twitch Draven is only benefiting that Twitch. And I don't care how fed that Volibear is, he's not going to be able to get on top of that Twitch with the Renata there, and he's not going to be able to kill them by the time that Twitch goes rat-a-tat-tat.
Yeah, just gonna have to see how long this game goes, because really every moment that they're even or that they're close in gold, it's going to get harder and harder for DNU to play. But currently we're still in this early game, and to be fair, they do have the Kale, which can outscale if played properly. I just don't know that they're going to be able to do that if the Twitch is allowed to get ahead. Currently though, there is a huge CS gap going on, even though that gold from the kill really helps DNU, or helps the MAS stay in.
See a gank coming out from Banana Man on the Wukong, and he gets bursted down almost immediately, but a flash Q is able to finish off the Draven and able to bring him back to life from the Renata W. And now they're trying to chase down the Thresh, not able to get him. Thresh is slightly too fast with his upgraded boots, but very quick turnaround kill coming out for the side of OK Demon onto Draven.
That bailout coming in clutch, saving Banana Man's life there.
His passive stacks jumped all the way down to 36.
Yeah, he was probably at like 150, and not getting these cash-ins early is only starting to hurt more and more as we see there. The Twitch is now ahead in gold by 200. Gonna have to clean some of the CS up to stay ahead.
All in coming in from the Gwen mid, but the Kale stops any further progression from that.
Yeah, Divine Judgment coming in to save their life. Not really worried as the Kale. That as long as you have that ultimate or flash up, I think you're really safe. Wukong and Gwen are gonna have struggle really to kill her.
Yeah,
Getting some decent return damage onto the Gwen as well. See Banana Man making his way up towards top here. Maybe going to try to attack Dean, but not going to do that. Just going to farm his way back down.
yeah. I will say though that Hecarim does have a slight gold lead over the Wukong, and Volibear does make up most of the gold difference coming out from the side of DNU. So I think here in a little bit, once shutdowns come online, they need to try to punish this Volibear practice aggressively. Here we see an all-in from the Volibear turning off the tower with his ulti, and he flashes away to try to survive after the kill on the Scion, and he does get away from the moment. Scion passive trying to run him down, but it doesn't get to him. Now we see an engage coming up from the Thresh and Hecarim down bot side, but with a very quick flash coming out from the Twitch, he's able to escape that.
Yeah, Scion falling farther and farther behind as DNU Dean probably once again overstaying, a little bit greedy for this plate. Banana Man's going to clean up this kill. I think used the ulti just to be safe, but I'm not sure they wanted to use the Whirlwind or Cyclone. I think maybe that was should have saved that for a different gank, but better safe than sorry.
It's not on a huge cooldown, right? I mean, it's a minute and a half.
It's 100 seconds. 100 seconds means it's probably not going to be up for this. It's not going to be up for this next Drake fight. And
yeah,
to be fair,
like a dive is going to want to happen down bot side, but the Hecarim is currently trapped in a bush with the Wukong there, and it seems like Banana Man made a very smart play, but the Renata gets hooked and just demolished by that Thresh. Unfortunately, once again, the Thresh got the kill and Draven did not. We see an engage coming out from Babycod, and the Kale had to flash away to survive. But we see a Rift Turtle being placed down by that Hecarim, seeing if they can get a really good engage bot. And the Wukong and Twitch are deciding to run away. But good fear coming out from the Hecarim to get them, and some flashes and flays coming out, and Draven finally gets to check in, cash in his passive stacks, and with the other kill going to the Hecarim.
Yeah, Onslaught of Shadows used very well there. I think this lead now is starting to look very good on the side of DNU. Don't think they're going to be rediving this, but Draven getting that cash in does balloon himself to 1,200 gold lead on the bot side.
Yeah,
all it takes is one.
The Volibear's slowly whittling down this tower and continuing to destroy the Scion. And now DNU is at a 5k gold lead at 13 minutes.
Yeah, a lot of that coming out of the CS leads. You see OK Demon losing to DNU Janitor in the CS department, just sort of the way it's played out of aggressive bot lane versus passive bot lane. And DNU Dean nearly has this entire turret down on top side. That big damage coming out from the shield use, not able to survive. Almost turns that play around, but good gank from Banana Man, able to shut him down before he takes the turret. Not going to get all 5 plates, but overall, a lot of plates taken everywhere, all across the map.
And we see that in the early stages of this game, the Twitch and the Draven were very similar in their gold leads, but because of that one kill with the cash in by the Draven, he's now up 1,200 gold on the Twitch.
Yep. That's how big that cash in is for Draven. The rest, Gypsy Whoopie looking around, just fishing for something, not really going in for anything, just checking to see where everybody's at.
Yeah, and what we said what DNU was going to try to do is happening. Early aggression, very hard engage. They're looking for every opportunity to get themselves ahead, and that's why they have that 5k gold lead, because I guess MAS just wasn't prepared for the amount of ganks and aggression that would come at them.
Well, they were there for that bot lane dive. It just doesn't work out. DNU executing a little bit better, able to get the Draven ahead. Draven also just ahead on CS, you know, being 40 CS ahead is a really, really big deal. As we see Hecarim and gonna get the flash out of Wukong. Not sure he needed to do that. Maybe better safe than sorry, but I think Wukong was okay there with the Scion next to him. Now, the question is, as we get almost to a 6,000 gold lead, Kayle hits level 11, so she has more empowered auto attacks. Exalted now can come in. She can do a lot of AoE damage once she gets to 1 to 2 items.
Yeah. I think that it's actually a mistake from the side of men's that they didn't punish this Kayle early. I think one of their biggest win conditions is trying to get this Gwen ahead and take over those team fights. And because of what's happened this game, they felt like they needed to prioritize bot and top to try to help establish control and the aggression. The potential mid lane plays aren't there. We do see an engage coming out, and Draven does. Oh no!
Another hook.
Hecarim gets out, but another hook coming out from the Thresh, and the Hecarim is trying to dive. Okay, Demon does get that kill and takes the Lantern out, and it comes out for a double kill on Hecarim, and we see one final engage coming out, and we see a triple kill with Hecarim fully exhausting all possibilities to live, but that triple kill is going to be huge, and Draven lives and gets to push down the tower.
Yeah, 7,000 gold lead coming in now. DNU has accelerated this game faster. We see for the first time that MAS has been punished for taking 3 scaling lanes, not able to affect this early game and mid game enough, as DNU has ballooned this gold lead to a proportion where I'm not sure MAS can come back from.
Yeah, and DNU now is in a spot where they can have a lot of control over enemy jungles and whatnot, because of the fact that they've taken every single tier 1 tower on the field. But we do see huge engage coming out from Baby Cod. I didn't bother telling about that because I thought the Kayle would be able to get out, but I was wrong. The ultimate was able to slow the Kayle down enough to get that kill. And the Volibear gets engaged on by the Twitch, and OK Demon is very quick kill onto him.
This is how it's going to have to start coming back in the game. You're going to have to get some of these picks and push down some objectives. Dragon is not going to be a concern for a while. Baron is going to be really the concern at 20 to 25 minutes, I think, for MAS. But these outer turrets, none of them down to 3 turrets down from the side of DNU, means that they're going to have to get some of these objectives to get back in this game.
Yeah, I'm happy that on the side of MAS that they haven't just like given up. I'm happy that they're trying to find those picks where they can get them and try to survive, because I know when we scrimmed at DNU, it seemed like some lost causes, and it's not that way right now.
Yeah, much different team comps than some of the scrims that have come out. You see for the fact that they have all 3 scaling lanes, so that means eventually there will come a time where, regardless of the gold lead, they will be online, but it's not here yet, and it's going to take some time to get there. And being that you are now you're 6,000 gold down, you really don't control any part of the
jungle. Thresh coming out onto the Twitch, and the Twitch flushes away, but the Thresh does get hooked again and does fall. Not able to green back from the bailout, and it seems like they are able to shut down the Hecarim on the side of MAS, chasing down this Draven. Draven has to flash Lantern to get away. While Kayle's just pushing down top lane, getting that second tier tower, but it does seem like MAS will be getting their second Drake of the game.
Yeah, one for one trade here. The Twitch coming out means I don't
re-engage coming out from the side of DNU, the Volibear going in, and the TP coming out from the Kayle. Although Baby Cod is trying to find a re-engage onto them all, Volibear just shreds through a couple of their members and is able to get a double kill. And all that's left is to whittle down that Scion, and there's not a lot of whittling down to do right now. And they are able to actually turn around and secure the second Drake for themselves, actually.
Yeah, good re-engage there, understanding that with the Twitch gone, there's a huge portion of their damage missing. And Kayle, having not been touched in level 11, comes in with, they flank with the Volibear, pinching them from both sides. Baby Cod makes a good attempt at trying to kill the Draven, but with the Divine Judgment there, cannot get that kill, and as a result, they lose the fight.
Yeah, and this Volibear, I don't know how many times you've gone against an AP Volibear, but that guy can get scary if he's fed. He's so close to getting his Riftmaker, and he is able to just practically kill the Renata under her own tower with 2 other members standing there,
Not
and he
practically,
gets that scot-free.
not practically does kill her and has to burn the flash to get out, but you will take that kill as it really puts a lot of pressure for someone to answer that Volibear. I think Gwen's really the only one that can maybe with her healing, but as you see, they've all built. We don't see any MR boots, and the Volibear with his on-hit build is really able to do a large amount of magic damage.
Yeah,
And
and we talked about how Mass was maybe trying to claw their way back, but ever since we said that, it's now evolved into 11 and a K gold lead at 20 minutes for TNU.
now 2 outer turrets down. I think this Baron is not long for the world, because I'm not sure that even Mass can answer this. Being really punished heavily for all 3 lanes going scaling. Gonna find an engagement.
It seems like the Wukong got caught out, and Thresher coming in and actually finding itself onto the Wu, and Draven is able to cash in some more Adoration stacks. And the Draven is now has almost a 3K gold lead onto the Twitch, even though he's a kill down.
Yeah, the passive stacking from Draven really comes in big. We see this Baby Cod up against this Volibear is going to have to fight, but don't think he's going to be able to survive here.
Just ults the tower, shutting it down, and is almost able to destroy that win. And he's now chasing the Twitch with the E landing and just auto slashing him down. So no chance.
Yeah, really smacking them with their wallets. 14,000 gold is the lead. Every lane is behind on Mass, and it's really going to take some mistakes from DNU, and really it's going to be hard to answer this Volibear. Backs and buys a Magi's 10 stacks on that is gold efficient, and I don't see him having to lose many pages of that book here soon.
Yeah, and while that bot lane play was happening, the rest of the side of DNU just took Baron.
Winning on both sides. It's really what happens when you're able to get an early advantage. Banana Man going in for an engage, but just nothing coming of it.
Yeah, I think that this game is pretty much. I don't know what is there anything that Mass can do this game to try to make their way back, or do you think it's a
Ooh.
go to the drawing boards, see what they need to do to change for game 2?
I think that DNU, if they make mistakes, there's a lot of gold to be claimed on this map, especially with bounties and other stuff like that. You see a large amount of shutdowns on 4 of the members. Ooh, big hook there.
Going on to the Renata, but and the pull from the Lantern brings the Aggro in and gets the Onslaught of Shadows onto 4 members of the team, and the Sound just gets eliminated very quickly while the rest of this team would be feared, and a very fast inhibitor gone for the side of DNU, with the second inhib about to go down as well. And I'd say that Volibear with ult up is probably going to ult these towers, and he does, shutting them both down, and they're able to very quickly take those. And the Threshuk lands onto the Twitch, and the Twitch had to flash away, but it does not matter as he dies instantly. Same move goes along with the Renata, and now, the game just ends like that for the side of DNU. Congrats on game 1, guys. That was a performance.
Yeah, definitely seeing how well they can play out these early games as DNU really smacks down Mass, saying you cannot play 3 scaling lanes against us. You're going to have to master early aggression, and really this is a statement for them. Mass and DNU have been 2 teams at the top, and right now, I think seeing the way we are, I think DNU definitely is going to have both of these games, or is going to have the top of the leaderboard right now, unless Mass can answer this. DNU Dean doing the most damage on Volibear, 23,000 damage to champions. Wow, what a performance in game 1.
Yeah, I think that going into game 2, we really need the side of Mass needs to ban out that Draven. I think that doing that will allow them a lot more priority down bot and maybe shut down potentially whatever top lane shenanigans is going on. Maybe Alien Soul needs to play safer. I don't know.
I don't think he played underneath his turret, and I really don't think there was a whole lot that he could have done differently. He was just dived a lot, and it's the nature of that AP Volibear into the Scion. You sort of pressure him early, and once he's rolling, it's really hard for him to like come back from any of that. And there's just too much to defend on the side of Mass. They've really picking three scaling lanes means you have no advantages in those lanes, and you just get completely pushed in totally, and it becomes a game of like if they get the lead and they get the ball rolling in any of the lanes, they can just bring their lead wherever they want. And as we saw, DNU Dean winning 1v2s, Draven eventually gets that kill that he was denied very early, and
Mhm.
once he does, the gold lead is just it balloons out of control.
Yeah, I think that the explosiveness of the Draven really cost them there. You know, you're whenever you play against a Draven, at least in my head, I'm always thinking, "Gosh, I cannot let this Draven get that first kill. I can't let him get this first kill." And it's like almost all you can focus on in that early game. And then once he does, you're like, "Well, crap. What do I do?"
Yeah, I don't. I'm not even sure it was the Draven per se. I think really Hecarim got around and affected a lot of the lanes. DNU Dean getting those early dives off on Scion or not. Not DNU. Yeah, DNU Dean getting those early kills on Scion means he's farther ahead. But just facilitated so much by the by the Hecarim there. You know, his ability to affect every lane around the map, and just the Kale being left to scale on her own and basically just not interact with the Gwen, not giving Baby Cod what he wants to be able to win that game. I
Yeah,
think
and it looks like for game two, uh, Mets will be taking the blue side again. Prioritizing that first pick for them seems to be really valuable. Um, do you think we'll see a different draft coming out from the side of Mass? Maybe pick up that Asol instead of the Gwen?
I think they're going to have to adjust something, but that, once again, they're going to have to get some kind of early game pressure. I think the Wukong wasn't the answer. I would like to see a J4 come out, and then maybe a more early to mid game bot lane. I don't know. Was the Zaya banned?
No, the only ADC that was banned was Jinx.
Yeah, I would like to see the Zaya come out. I don't think it's been nerfed enough to the point where they should be losing in that lane.
Mm.
And as long as you ban the Draven Tristana, maybe you ban the Hecarim or the Volibear. Hmm. We'll have to
And it
see.
does seem like a draft is starting for game two, and we see a very early Tristana ban coming out from the side of Mass.
Yeah, still, I agree with that. Tristana has that early game advantage if you're going to play scalers. Does allow them to play level two, level three fights really well, and just the burst that she has is incredible. So I do like that ban. A Moo Moo ban? I think I don't like that.
Well, maybe uh, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. The bans have gone very fast. We see Blitzcrank. They're going to
Oh,
take
we
the
see,
Thresh.
yeah, Thresh first pick. I guess they were trying to ban supports that could try to contest the Thresh because they prioritized that pick. Now with
Hmm.
that gone, I wonder what DMU is going to decide to play.
I think it might be a bit disrespectful leaving that Draven up still. And there we go. They're gonna take
Yeah, the
it. That
Draven.
you can play. Oh, blah 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 blah.
Excuse
What?
me.
Excuse me, sir. That's Zeri. That's 280 carries.
Is that Zeri mid?
Um, Draven support or Draven 80 carry Zeri bit.
I
That's
know
a.
that I know there are some Zeri builds out there where she goes like the lethality and is able to like proc a lot of instant damage, but I don't know.
I think maybe they're just giving who is it DNU mascot the more scaling options. We have seen him play different stuff as we see the Zaya pick we saw that was left up. That's going to come out. by far has been the best pick from OK Demon as far as his solo queue has gone.
And we're gonna
Um,
see a Lee Sin coming out on the side of DNU. Is that our first Lee Sin in this league?
I
I
think
think it
so.
might be.
Yes, that is. Very early pressure jungler gonna fight. Now, I think Cho'Gath going top. We're gonna see once again a Kled ban, Kindred Vi. This draft is just zipping on by.
Yeah, and
Mm,
it's besides from those first few drafts, first few bands coming out from the side of Mass, we see the bands coming out be very similar, but this adaptation by the side of GNU is very interesting. I don't know where that series going.
I think the Zeri is going into Mascot's hands. We've seen him play a few other of the scaling picks, and he plays the 80 carries mid, but it's a very heavy 80 team comp right now. And a good Volibear band coming out. Vel'Koz probably
Oh,
going into the bot lane. Gonna try to punish, but Thresh Xayah can definitely punish that lane if you get hooks on any of them. But there is a
yeah.
lot of damage in that support role if Vel'Koz is going there.
I will say on the side of DNU, I'm really just impressed with the versatility of their drafts. It seems like every single game is a brand new game that you can't expect any picks from them. Maybe from the sides of the Draven, um, that seems to be a staple.
This is gonna be a Diana Yasuo. We see a Yasuo pick coming out. That's probably going in the mid lane to Baby Cod. Cho'Gath going top for Alien Soul. And Karthus gonna be picked up. And a Warwick insta lock in from DNU.
What the?
Warwick is top lane, by the way. Warwick
No, no,
in
Warwick.
yes.
Okay, so it's Draven Zeri bot. No,
No,
I'm sorry.
no.
Zeri
It's
mid, Vel'Koz Draven bot.
yes. So Warwick top is a solo queue thing into tanks. Because they just
Okay,
can't walk up to the wave and fight them.
sure.
So Warwick top is a solo answer to the Cho'Gath after seeing everything else. Karthus will not be able to affect that lane's Cho'Gath is once again on his own, and Warwick Lee Sin is probably going to heavily punish this again. Zeri is going to be left to scale into the Yasuo, and I don't think Yasuo can probably have some early pressure, but not enough, I think, to get kills. And
Yeah.
Draven Vel'Koz, well, it's going to depend on what Scourge can do on this Thresh pick.
Mm-hmm.
He is really going to be a key to how well that bot lane goes. As I don't know, Vel'Koz does outrange them quite heavily, and they Draven may be able to get punished if he plays it correctly, but we're gonna have to see where it goes.
Yeah,
Mm,
I think the biggest question on my end is I wonder how often D&U has practiced this comp
mm.
because this is a weird comp coming out from them.
Yeah, gonna have to see. Votes up for game two. Have to see exactly what everybody thinks. I think after game one, I still want to. I'm gonna lean into DNU because I think in this chaotic style that they've made for themselves, this chaotic early game style that they're playing, they're really breaking away from standard play and sort of saying, "Hey, we're going to fight you. We're going to fight you often, and we're going to build our gold leads by fighting you and then taking objectives." And really they executed it well on game 1. I think Alien Soul's again going to have a rough time, and the Leeson into Karthus pressure is going to be heavy. I'm not sure about the Karthus pick,
Yeah.
maybe just trying to give Banana Man some more agency.
And I wonder how much of the draft is based off of the coach from the side of DNU because I personally know their coach Sean, and I I know him as a very chill kind of man, and this is wild. I think it's a little too wild, maybe. So I might have to put my predictions on the side of Mass this game. I think their comp is is easier to execute.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to see Mass prove they can execute something like this. I think there's a little bit of anti-synergy here going between the Karthus Yasuo Cho'Gath top side. I do like the Xayah and the Thresh bot lane, but I'm just not sure how all this is gonna come together. We see that Zarya is sort of the like late game insurance policy, while Draven, Vel'Koz, Lee Sin, Warwick are going to be these very again heavy early game fighters.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've seen Baby Cod play the Yasuo before. So it'd be very interesting to see how well he can pilot the champion. I know that his skill ceiling is very high, but on the opposite end, his his skill floor is very low.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, the floor and the ceiling are very two very big things. On the vote, DNU did get a vast majority of the voting points. I think I saw it was 87% of the vote this time. A lot more belief in DNU this time with the chaos that they were able to play through. Big, very quick win, but I think Mass definitely playing on some more comfort picks. Alien Soul still comfort. Their bot lane is very comfortable in these in the Zaya Thresh. So we're just gonna have to see how game two goes.
yeah, and with that, we will see you guys all in a few minutes for when game two starts. Don't step away.
All right, everyone, welcome back for game two between TPO MAS and DNU. Um, what do we think after game one? What needs to change in game two here, Jeffrey?
I think for game, wow, I they're being on the side of DNU. They're being very annoying with the pings coming out. They're you know,
Uh-oh.
they're fun individuals. But the invade coming out from DNU and the early wards from the side of Moose is able to stop any potential early kill going over.
That is a very coordinated 5-man bait ping spam. I love it.
It, you, I, it's driving me a little insane. I gotta be real. How do I mute pings?
Good luck.
How do I don't think I can.
You can't do it. You are stuck with it. So,
Oh no.
one interesting thing to note that it seems we're getting the level 1 lane swap coming in from bot lane. They're gonna try to put their AD carry support up against the Warwick, sort of like break Alien Soul from it. They do see Dean and Olimar.
Yeah, we see the invade coming up from the side of DNU, and maybe this Karthus can then take a return buff on their blue.
I don't think so. I think as soon as the Cho'Gath shows and they know there's a lane swap, now they know there's a lane swap, so that the Lee Sin knows, or the Karthus has to know that he's not going to have bot lane priority as the Cho'Gath is going to get pushed in. All they really have to do is that Raven Vel'Koz shoves the wave in and checks the blue buff. But I don't.
Do you see the side? We do see the Karthus invading onto the blue side, and will get that blue buff. It doesn't seem like DNU has any idea that Max knew the invade happened. So good for the side of Max on their wardage early.
I think they're just going to settle for the vertical jungling. I don't think they're willing to trade. I think Karthus definitely wants to take all of those camps in blue side. Lee Sin is doing that and going to then proceed towards his red side. So we'll see. Karthus is going for the wolf camp. So just a bit of vertical jungling. Karthus is going to be a little bit behind because he did go buff to buff immediately, but can just come back and take the wolves and Krugs.
It seems like Alien Soul got chunked out early and did have to take an early back, and will have to TP back to bot lane. I don't know how well this lane swap is going to work on the side of a huge chunk coming out from the side of Mass. DNU made a little bit of a mistake and took a couple of tower shots down bot.
So even though it looks strange, what you're really looking at is you want to look at top lane EXP during these lane swaps. It's not really the gold you're going to be looking at, because both of these guys are going to get poked out. They're going to get chunked. I think this is definitely a mistake for Mass to back away from that turret. DNU definitely playing it correctly as they continue to pressure every wave.
We'll see an early level 4 coming out from the side of the Karthus, and maybe we'll get a bot gank happening here.
He should not.
Seems like Karthus will be taking that Scuttle Crab, but with the side of DNU being so pushed up, I feel like the Draven and Vel'Koz are squishy enough to get early kills for the side of Mass. But instead, Karthus is going to try to see if he can try to get something mid. But the Thresh, not the Thresh, the Lee Sin does try to get an early gank top, and the Threshuk does come out onto the Warwick, and they both have to flash away in order to try to survive.
Flash and barrier used there from DNU Dean as he's trying to survive this lane.
You see that Karthus gank coming out, and the Vel'Koz does get a knock up, and the flash from the Vel'Koz has to avoid the Cho'Gath Q. I don't know what that's called, but that's okay.
Rupture?
Rupture! Avoiding the Rupture.
There you go. You learn something new every day. Oh, I think they're even funneling gold.
We see the Yasuo coming down and gank bot lane onto the Draven, but they should get first blood on the side of Baby Cod, and they will get OK Demon a kill onto the Warwick top side, and we will see a flash coming out from the Draven, but it doesn't matter as Baby Cod gets a double kill.
Mass is not phased by the game 1 loss, immediately answering back with some very big kills. Yasuo on the 2-0 accelerated. Zaya getting a kill onto the Warwick, putting him down. And the only sacrifice is they're going to sacrifice Cho'Gath's farm and just
Does
say, hey,
see that the Lee Sin is coming down bot side, and it will be a flash coming up from the side of Shogoth. Maybe he's able to get away from this Lee Sin, but Lee Sin's trying to auto attack, whittle him down. Wardhop is trying to get a better advantage, and the auto attacks just don't. Oh, it does seem to matter as the second Warhawk coming out from the Lee Sin follow Q and is able to secure that kill.
a little bit of a slight answer, but the Draven not getting anything. The Warwick is being kept down. Top lane is not going to be able to affect the game as much as it did last time with the Volibear. Just a bit of scaling coming in from the Zeri. Does not have as big of a CS lead as I think she would like to with the Yasuo roaming. But all in all, MAS is not afraid to play this early game, even after they took the scaling in game one, answering back quite nicely.
Yeah, and I think their win objective is coming online. I think Baby Cod is what they use to try to win most games. And we see another gank coming out from Banana Man onto the Warwick, and Zaya's trying to hide him away, and they will get another kill on the side of the Zaya. And now we have two people on the side, the two carries on the side of MAS with being 2-0.
Yeah, one of the problems this bot lane is having is that the Cho'Gath, because they're shoving wave after wave into him, as long as he gets a few kills here and there, he's surviving. You know, he's not going to have much farm, but that's okay. You're okay with him being a tank because eventually they're going to have to quit this. They're going to get, you know, a lot of plates and a lot of stuff like that, but they really can't dive him, I don't think.
Yeah, they're going to try as he's getting pressured off the tower, but the Cho'Gath does just manage to take the damage and go away, and then we find a root coming up from the Zaya onto the Warwick. But we do see a early Drake being taken by the Lee Sin, and Baby Cod is trying to find something in return, but so far it doesn't really find anything. We see a double Q coming up from Yasuo. Maybe we'll find engage, but Zeri is trying to rotate now and try to stop whatever's happening. We do see some Flay and Roots coming out from the side of MAS onto the Warwick top, but with Warwick getting 6, it doesn't seem like the pressure is going to be there.
Here's the dive now in bot lane, what it looks like. I think they're gonna have to leave this tower. I think it might be too late now.
You see Banana Man trying to come in from a counter gank. The Alien Soul does go down, but I think that the turnaround from the side of MAS will be able to find a couple of kills here. We see the tower shots.
Banana Man.
Then Baby Cod is on top of the Vel'Koz now. Does seem like Karthus should be able to finish off that kill. Ult's coming out from the side of Karthus. They do find the Vel'Koz kill, and Baby Cod needs to try to find something on Draven. It does seem like Draven did find one of those kills and was able to cash in his adoration, actually making him now the up and gold on the Zaya. Just very slightly. We found a Thrushhook onto the Warwick, but Zaya doesn't have enough mana to try to secure that kill right now, which is fine. But he'll back, and maybe we'll try to see enough. We'll try to see a kill coming out. Draven does stop the Yasuo back from going through.
Yeah, seeing the gold lead just varying slightly with the Draven, that kill definitely brings him back in. But I think Zeri and Thresh are happy with where they're at. They're not in a deficit even after the Draven kill. We see the only sacrifice really is Alien Soul, as he's, you know, 0-2-1. Eventually he's gonna come, you know, and get more HP and stuff like that. I don't like how far behind he is, but the Warwick also is really far behind as well. Both of them together combined are not worth more than 5,000 gold. I think it's only even barely above 4,000 gold combined for those two players.
Yeah, but on the side of MAS, you know, we see the Karthus being 2-1-3, the Yasuo 3-0-2, Zaya's still 2-0. I love this the response from MAS based off of game 1.
Yeah, definitely got punched in the mouth, and definitely this gate coming in, good wind wall. Are we gonna get a hook? No hook coming in. Scourge not throwing it out in the 2v3. Are just gonna walk away from each other. Yasuo will be able to lifesteal that back up with the Vamp Scepter he's got. And just gonna go back bot lane. We're still maintaining these split lanes on the side of MAS. I honestly think this has been a very effective strategy from them to go topside and play this out like that, really negating DNU Dean's big advantage that he had. So we see a bit of damage onto the Cho'Gath, not really a whole lot coming in, as he's a big tanky boy,
You
but
see
a
another
dive.
gank, yeah, another dive coming up from the side of Lee Sin. Does find a Q onto the Karthus. He should be able to find that kill very quickly. Draven is actually able to collect that with his ulti, but Karthus does get a return kill. And we see now Baby Kata is trying to find something in return, but he's deciding that he just wants to get that CS instead. We see maybe the side of top side. Okay, Demon and Scourge are just going to take down that top tower and then try to find another kill onto the Warwick. But they actually don't finish off the tower right now. Now they do. Gets first tower on the side of Mass, and but Dean is able to walk away for right now.
Those two kills on Draven though are huge as they balloon the gold lead even more.
Ult missed from the side of Dean, but the flash ulti coming up from the side of OK Demon does finally whittle him down. If that ulti landed from the side of the Warwick, I think that Xayah was probably dead.
No, he did not have. He didn't have ult. He had already used it on the Thresh. That was his W. His what is it called? I'll see it in a moment what it is. But his W is the one that gives him the extra resistances and allows him to have that AoE fear. But I don't think he was ever getting out of that at any point. He just doesn't have the kind of damage and everything else he needs to survive at this point. Baby Cod, staying.
I just went back to the play and he just used his ulti trying to launch onto the Xayah at that play.
Oh, he must have gotten it back. Ooh, big engage from the Yasuo. They're gonna run away from. Does burn down with the ignite. Ooh. I did not think he had the damage on there to kill the Vel'Koz, but I guess with the level lead, he ends up winning that.
Yeah, we do see a rotation coming out from the side of Mills. They want to get this second Drake on this for themselves, stop some potential stacking.
With that kill on Vel'Koz, I think they definitely are going to be able to do that. They have the Xayah down in bot lane. I don't think Draven really wants to give that up. And Xayah can answer this push and maybe prevent that last turret plate and turret from going down on the side of DNU. Gank appears to be coming in here. Lee Sin has the inside track. They're going to turn this play around. Lee Sin goes for the ward hop flash kick. Karthus is okay with himself dying, but Lee Sin is going to fight. Ooh, flash into the janitor. Whirling Death is going to get the kill. OK Demon returns it and gets the shutdown. Vel'Koz is going to claim the shutdown on Xayah, but another stack of Adoration claimed there by the Draven. 5-1-2 now. Big damage on the team. Definitely winning out. 7,500 gold, 1,500 gold ahead of his partner in Xayah.
Yeah, we did see Zeri take that mid-tier tower while that fight was going on, and now the Vel'Koz taking that bot tier 1 tower as well. And now the side of DNU is actually up 3k gold on Mass. That turned around real fast.
5k gold swing. Early game really coming in. I think we're seeing the limitations of Karthus into a Draven and a Lee Sin. He's not going to be able to walk up into the team comp without getting extremely bursted. And it's going to be tough. I know we expect Karthus to die a lot and walk into the fights and still do good damage, but it just seems that he is not going to be effective in how long he spends his life alive first. Does need to get damage out before he goes down and dies.
Yeah, and the Draven doesn't even have a mythic item. He's so fed that he thinks that the Essence Reaver IE is what's going to snowball him even further, and I say I'd have to agree.
Actually, believe it or not, this is one of the standard builds. The other one is Bloodthirster into IE. The reasoning being is that Draven can make such effective use of that BF sword damage and that crit that he doesn't really need the Gale Force or the Shield Bow to survive early. He wants to get to the highest amount of 40% crit damage that he can get on the Infinity Edge. And the Essence IE is definitely one of those builds. Does mean though, if he does get caught, he can be bursted down very quickly. I think it's going to be on Scourge to get those hooks onto him through these team fights, but we're just going to have to see how they can find those picks.
I just think it's so interesting because while the audience may not know, Janitor is usually their jungler, I believe, and a sub had to take place because their ADC player couldn't make it. And the ADC player that couldn't make it is actually known for his Draven. He's able to capitalize on a lot of people and get his snowball ahead. And I'm so surprised that someone else on that team is able to utilize the Draven to the same extent and really make it work.
Yeah, I have to ask, is Leisurely Al in the chat if he knows exactly who is subbing and who is not? Because wasn't sure about that. I had heard that too, but I wasn't exactly sure on it. I believe we have the coach who's in chat. Maybe can answer that question for us. See a hook
coming onto the Vel'Koz. Doesn't really seem to find anything else though.
Might be a little bit afraid to go over the wall with no vision. I think they did know that Lee Sin was there and could be in danger of getting bursted down very quickly.
Yeah, I'm actually I don't think the side of MAS is out of this by any means. You know, we see the Xayah and the Yasuo both having 4 kills, and these team fights are going to be really volatile if they're able to find that pick onto the Raven, who's a good chunk of that gold lead. I think team fights could easily go in favor of this.
Yeah, definitely. We see a lot of the gold lead right now. Well, Draven does have 1,000, but the majority of the gold lead appears to be on the support and the top lane difference. Top lane is just a CS difference. I think the Warwick was a little bit safer in getting some of those CS, and I think they're funneling more of the CS from Cho'Gath into the Karthus early to try to give him what he needs. Cho'Gath is sort of just playing the levels game right now, and just gonna be as much of a tank as he can be.
Yeah, so with MAS being 3k down, what do you think they need to try to do to accelerate themselves into a winning position? Is it like maybe they try to wait?
No, I think it's just going to come down to execution of fight. It's hard to say because, you know, I think DNU's has a more, they want to be in the chaos more, but MAS is going to have to get this vision under control around these neutral objectives and then sort of force DNU to walk into them. But every time they're walking into vision, they're going to get poked by things. The Vel'Koz is doing significant damage with a Night Harvester build. Thought it was a bit strange, but I think just going for the maximum poke damage that he can. And walking into darkness from them is not going to be a good thing. Their team really wants to be set up early, but I think they can take 5v5 fights if they can find pressure onto the Draven.
Yeah, it seems like BabyPod right now is trying to find maybe a kill onto the Zeri, but and he's actually just going to have to collect this wave while Zeri rotates towards mid, potentially.
Yeah, DNU mascot really just doing what he's done in all the games that I've seen him, which is that he is just sitting back and scaling, just sort of being the late game carry the team needs. Not really trying to get into a lot of fights or trying to overpressure, but we do see 2 items on the Zeri opting for the Shield Bow PD build instead of what I have seen is the Shield Bow Bloodthirster build, just to sort of be an unkillable carry. If you don't know, Bloodthirster Shield plus Overheal gives you about, depending on your level, you know, 600 to 800 health of a shield, so almost 1,000 shield that you can potentially keep up. And it makes Zeri a much tankier hyper carry.
Yeah, and you can tell on the side of DNU, they really practice their vision placements because the MAS had 2 control wards towards bot side, but it wasn't spotting out any of the normal vision wards in their red jungle, and it's just perfectly placed outside of the control ward's vision.
Yeah, I think normally you want to see a sweeper on the Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath being so far behind does not want to walk into this darkness and just not able to clear enough of this vision out from DNU, really taking control of the spots of the map that they want and pushing where they want to. They're dictating the pace of the game right now.
Yeah, and based off of what we've seen on the side of DNU, I'm almost tempted to say that they're the favorites in this tournament because they're just the execution coming out from them is very, very good.
We see a Baron start that I'm not sure. It's a 20-minute Baron start. Hook onto Vel'Koz as he is going to get the Flate in. Scourge is low, going to die to the Zeri. No, to the Vel'Koz. Red team does finish off Baron. Now a 4v5. Can they get the re-engage on Alien Soul? Not as tanky as he wants to be and can't run away from the Zeri. And ooh, big ulti onto the Xayah as they're going to get the kill. Karthus does end up going down, but his ultimate is not going to be able to finish anybody off. The Requiem doesn't get enough damage done this early on in the game.
And we see 4 for 0 in terms of kills in that team fight for the side of DNU. And they're going to be able to get the second tier tower and just really snowball this lead that they've created for themselves and just take control of every single part of this game.
Yeah, I think DNU's coordination as a team really looking solid. We see that they just together as a team seem to know what to do better. See Draven here just getting tons and tons of damage out onto the Thresh, trying to defend the inhibitor. They're running forward. Xayah gets chunked out immediately. Yasuo gets the last breath onto DNU Janitor. He is forced to flash out over the wall. Cho'Gath gets the eat onto the Vel'Koz. And are they going to kill the Xayah? Yes, Lee Sin is going to dive forward to kill the Xayah. But all in all, 3-4-1. Xayah, the only one going down, going to limit a bit of the pushing power. But Zeri was not in that fight, I do not believe. So, you know, 4v5, not good for them. But Draven, Zeri are still up.
It seems like this is trying to find a kill onto the Straven and get a shutdown. And the shutdown does come through onto the Karthus. 1,000 gold going on to him. But the Zeri has to flash away from the re-engage by the side of Karthus. And I was just going to say that it seems like the side of DNU was a little over-aggressive with their the base take that they had. And this was able to capitalize on that fact.
Yeah, I still think the gold lead definitely massive after the Baron take and all those turret and that inhibitor they got. So it's once again in a position where they're down 8,000 or almost 7,000 gold, and it's going to be on DNU to close it out properly as we see them taking vision control on this bot side once again. Looks like they're going to be pushing down as a 5. Rupture onto the Vel'Koz, but the return damage he gets onto the Cho'Gath and onto Scourge, they're going to have to reset. I don't think they want to be walking into his poke once again. They're going to have to give this Drake up.
Yeah, we see the Lee Sin currently taking that Drake right now. But it seems like on the side of MAS, they want to try to contest this. We see a flank coming up from this area, getting her ulti off and immediately bursting down the Cho'Gath. We see Warwick trying to charge up and run towards him. The Zeri gets a double kill onto the Thresh. We see a re-engage potentially from the side of MAS here onto the Zeri, and they aren't able to find anything. The Zeri is able to get away. The ulti forced out of the Xayah, and the Vel'Koz is able to finish off the Yasuo, but the fear coming up from the side
Whirling
of
Death.
Warwick, and the Whirling Death is able to finish off the Xayah, while Banana Man is able to find a return kill onto the Warwick, but it doesn't seem like it's going to seem to matter as Karthus gets a last ulti off, but it's not able to burst anyone down. Maybe the the Zeri does burn, but the Zeri is able to barely live, and the Thresh goes down again. Cho'Gath comes in and flash chomps the Zeri, killing her. And another kill coming out from the side of Lee Sin on the Karthus, but the Karthus does kill that Lee Sin, and Karthus is able to find another kill onto the Draven, and it seems like the Baron, or not the Baron, the base take from the side of DNU stops for now, as Vel'Koz has potentially found himself out, as Yasuo will dash through these minions, but with the double buffs and the E landing on the Yasuo, Vel'Koz is able to get out. But DNU able to find that second inhibitor and both of the Nexus towers. It's going to be really hard for MAS to try to stay protected with no towers protecting their Nexus.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely think that this is another one of those games that's going to be hard for them to finish. It's going to be on DNU to make mistakes that Mass is going to have to punish. But they played the early game out well, but DNU's mid game just appears to be heads and tails above everybody else as they're able to find these advantages and stuff on these objectives that other teams just aren't finding in the league right now. And it's propelling them into first place with these very, very decisive plays that they're making in this game.
Yeah. I will say, I wonder what would have happened if the Draven did get banned, because when we scrimmed against them, they played the Draven game 1 and we banned it, and then they threw a Karthus Aatrox at us.
Yeah,
So
definitely think there's some testing going on, but at the end of the day, I think it's not on something like that. I think it's just been on their execution as a team. Ninja, as we did get a confirmation, Ninja Tacos is the one from who was the rostered ADC, not DNU Janitor, and so just appears that he's able, the coordination that the team is able to play with on the roster means they can slot their subs in and not really have to change up the dynamic of their team, and that's something that not a lot of teams can say. A lot of the coordination, a lot of these guys have
a lot of damage coming up from the side of onto the Warwick, but not able to find that kill, except Babykod does kill that Warwick. Lee Sin also does fall, and no kills yet on the side of DNU on Mass, but stand corrected as the Vel'Koz does burst down that Cho'Gath, and Karthus tries to find a little bit of slow, doesn't really seem to find anything else. Maybe we're going to see a re-engage on the side of DNU. They think that they're just going to smack them with their wallets, and the Karthus does get bursted down inside of Draven. An ulti coming out from Karthus does have health, both of them, and Xayah is able to find that kill on the Draven. Now Babykod chases down the Vel'Koz, and he does manage to avoid the E, which would hook him up, and Xayah will be gifted the second shutdown from the Vel'Koz. Seems like they're trying to find a way back into this game. Xayah now has gotten a couple of shutdown kills, should be able to finish this PD.
Yeah, they're winning. They're winning a 4v5, but at the same time, the gold's not going up or going down, as the Zeri's not at that fight. They're literally just playing out without their latest game member.
Engage coming up from the side of Mass onto the Zeri, but the Zeri's hiding them and is actually not able to find that engaging. Zeri 1v4s and is able to kill that Thresh, and now he's trying to find another engage. Now 1v4 and again, but he also is able to find that kill on the Zeri, while the Warwick is trying to take down the Nexus, but it doesn't seem like he has enough damage to burst down the Nexus right now, as the rest of DNU is prepping for this Dragon Soul, Infernal Soul.
Whirling Death.
We see a Whirling Death coming up, and not far enough onto the Karthus to kill him.
Yep, Banana Cod tanking that hit there means that...
Did you say Banana Cod?
Baby Cod, sorry, confusing Banana Man and... You know, maybe they had a baby together and we now have Banana Cod, okay? Don't judge.
Okay, that's fair.
Mouse, if you can get on that, have a baby Banana Cod so that I can say that now, you know? What am I kidding? Banana Man a little pushed too far out. Thresh is going to get the hook on DNU. Dean, not sure about that teleport from Alien Soul. He's just going to get bursted down in the middle of this fight. Xayah uses her ulti trying to come in. DNU Dean gets chunked by the Blade Caller. They are playing this fight out. Lee Sin's not dead, but the two people you have to worry about, the Draven and the Vel'Koz, untouched once again in these fights. Zeri coming in as well, means that they're going to have their two strong AD carries still alive, going to take this inhibitor once again, meaning the Nexus is still unsafe to play. Babykod going for an engage, 1v3, just going to get bursted down by the Zeri, going to be able to chase it out. OK Demon looks to be next on the list for DNU mascot. Banana Man puts up a wall of pain, able to slow him down, but not able to survive all the Zeri bursts. Scourge dies to the Draven, and that is going to be it. Mascot and Boopy and Janitor able to finish off the Nexus, and DNU with a 2-0 victory tonight is able to take the win.
Yeah, congratulations to them getting that 2-0 in very concise, quick fashion. And now I think they're the clear number one in the standings. I think that they're 9-0. In terms of like points, I don't think they've lost a single game so far.
Yeah, just appears that their coordination in the early game and the level 1 to like 10 plays that they're making appear to be ahead of the rest of the league. Not a lot of answers for this early game pressure and damage. You got to see the Draven going all out and playing really well. Um, I don't know who we would give MVP to. We're
Yeah,
definitely
I don't know.
definitely gonna have to see GG's all around vote currently out for the MVP vote. I definitely think I know who I'm giving it to. I think being the versatility of this player, very, very good to see, able to win on multiple fronts and picks.
Yeah, I would almost give it to DNU Janitor as he did have to role swap for this and performed very well in the Raven, but I think the only reason why it looked so good is the support from the Thresh and that Vel'Koz. It just seemed to be very aggressive. And in the damage charts of the second game, the Vel'Koz actually did 6k more damage than that Draven.
Yeah, I really think it's come down to the fact that Gypsy Boopy in this bot lane is ruling. We see supports really ruling in this bot lane. Not the only team where support really makes the difference in how you win these fights out. And being able to take not only a new player, maybe that you've worked with before, but maybe who's not in that role and continue to have the success they've had. It's on really Olimar and Gypsy who have been able to be the support the rest of their carriers need to win.
Yeah, and I do want to say, on the side of Mass, you really played that early game well, and you did a good job on trying to come back. And I think the just overall aggression with the side of DNU may have been just too much, but you really showed up well. The Zaya was fed, Yasuo was fed, Karthus did most damage in the entire game. I think that you have a lot of good things to work on there.
Yeah, it just seems to be the little bit of the mid game coordination from DNU reigning supreme here. But I do applaud Masses. They definitely put up a great fight in these games. Got punished, got punished in game one and game two. Got ahead, and just a few small mistakes, a few outplays coming out from the side of DNU really makes all the difference. As Gypsy Boopy has won the MVP vote, so maybe we'll have an interview with him shortly. Might pull him into the call. We'll see what production does. But congratulations to both teams as we see the series end the 2-0 to DNU this week.
Yeah, are we able to get Gypsy Boopy in here?
Yep, I think we're going to be pulling him shortly into the call. So here will be Gypsy Boopy for, I believe, his second MVP interview.
Yeah, hello,
Hey,
Boopy.
what's up? Gypsy
I
Boopy, welcome back into this seat you seem to
Thank you,
be
thank you.
familiar and comfortable with. How does it feel?
Feels pretty good. I feel bad, like, taking the spotlight again. I kind of wish someone else, from the team could get a little credit up here.
Yeah, I understand your hesitation on taking the spotlight away from your team, but you really have been performing very well, and it's understandable why the spotlight has shone on you.
Yeah. How does it feel? How does this win feel different from the other weeks? Have you practiced more of this, or is it just sort of the bot lane practice you've gotten maybe with janitor, playing with a different AD carry?
Yeah, I think at least for game one, like the aggression, I think a lot of it falls on the Draven. Um that's something that he's playing a lot. So getting that and then it not being banned the second game, I think was a big mistake from the other side. I'm just following suit. Playing the Thresh was something that was pretty dominant in the lane. And then the second game, I think it was just a little flex, trying something that I haven't played in a little while, but you know, I also didn't know I was going to be against a Cho'Gath solo, but I didn't want to be in range of the Thresh or anything, so the Vel'Koz came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you guys practiced that team comp before? I know the Warwick top is a thing we see here and there, and Lee Sin doesn't really seem to be a very strong jungler right now. At least you have to be very capable with it. And Zeri mid is definitely new for me. Uh, what do you think of your draft?
Oh yeah, but that was definitely a little bit experimental outside of bot lane. Top was like we were once again expecting the Cho'Gath for him on the Warwick matchup. Just something that he can't really die on. It's a pretty dominant lane for the Warwick. We were imagining. Lee Sin is something kind of fun for our jungler to play. He did get that buff on that. I don't know how many patches ago, but it's not the weakest, not the strongest. But the mid Zeri, I can't even really explain that one. So no
Yep.
clue.
So, did you know you have played 6 unique picks, not having replayed a single champion in every game you have played so far? So, what gives you the advantage to have this sort of large support champion pool?
Think it's just the amount of time I've played League, and so I just kind of have gone through different roles and I just play different champs. I don't know. I find fun in playing variety. I actually didn't know I hadn't repeated a champ yet, but
Yep.
I don't mind it. I think it's fun.
Yeah,
Yep.
and I do have to ask, just for my own curiosity's sake, who is the true instigator of the bait peens coming out from your team?
Oh, that's a good question. I think it might be the AD carry. Is that our top? I actually don't remember. I want to say it's the AD, and once it just started, everyone was just laying it down, and it kind of just became a thing. So
Well, I
yeah,
have
no,
to say
that
on
was
my
fun.
end, I just hear ding, 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 and I'm like, what is going on?
I have to say I approve of it 100%. Anything to tilt Jeffrey out with those kind of pings. He was even looking for the mute ping button as he was a little bit. Like to see the win again this week. Any last things you want to say before we end it for tonight's stream?
Shout out the boys. That's all I got.
All right.
All
Well,
right.
shout outs to all of the NU members, coach, players, everybody who's been involved. You all tonight, thank you for tuning in to University of DN versus TPO Mass. And everyone have a wonderful night here from TPO.
Bye.
Bye bye.